Hey there, quite abandoned. Welcome, folks, to tonight's stream, and we are carrying on with today's earlier thing where we were making a widget to basically solve our optimization problems by swapping out every single widget. Right, so I need to just check what version I've got here. Excuse me just one second. Yeah, if I do IW. Right, so that's the old bit. This is the new version. Okay. So we open this up. So sorry about this for at the moment. I had my machine locked up 10 minutes. Sheesh, every single one of them. Don't know what you mean by that, but okay. So basically I have been copying over the work that I actually did this morning and this afternoon. Okay. And then this afternoon I had to reload. I had to back up a project that wasn't working properly. And then I had to right, thank God for that. I thought I wasn't going to do that there. Right, I had to basically delete these maps and go to a previous merge, but copy the bad one that wasn't working this afternoon for I don't know what reason. But anyway, we're nearly back where we were, but not quite. Okay, so I'm still gonna have to do some copying and pasting, but you'll notice here I do have my mega crazy asset replacer. Okay, this is it here. I'm going to close this one. I'm having to play with two projects here. I'm just making sure I've got the right versions of things, okay? Right, okay. Okay, that's fine. Right, you'll notice here that this is actually quite empty, but we're about to fill it up quite a lot. Okay, so we're going to do this. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. Copy that, and we're going to paste that. Okay. Then we're going to compile it. We have our data type problem, which is okay. And we need to set up a couple of variables here as well. We've not got the variables. So let's, in fact, we're not going to get anywhere until we set up these variables, so we may as well do that first. Right. So count. That's obviously going to be an integer. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this back out again, right? Because it'll be easier to put it back in. And this one, count all meshes, count all mesh, that's what it's actually called. Then our mesh is, just going to make sure I get this right. And this is a string, and it's an array. Then we duplicate that, and this one here is called no instance. Then we duplicate that, and it's going to be no instance exists. Okay, so we should be able to do that now. Then we can start bringing this stuff back in, and it'll come in a bit better with a few less errors. Okay, we still going to get errors on the data tables, but we can fix that up. Okay, get all actors classed, that's fine. Data table role, mesh replace. And mesh replace. Refresh that. And this is probably not going to work, so we may as well just come. We might actually be able to do that. And then, yep, that might be. Include children is fine. Oh, simple. Text. Oh, no, that's fine. Right, that's all okay. Compile that, that's good. Okay. Then we've got our next one, which is pretty big. Paste that. Okay. Compile that. Right, what we got here. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We plug this in here. That's fine. All good, I would say. Compile that. And we've already done that one. We've got one more. compile that. Okay. What we'll do, just to make sure we get this in the right place. And we should be able to refresh this. There we go. Looking good. There we go. Okay. So, we've got one more little bit to do that we need to remember. Now, this is probably going to be the thing that really mucks us up in the end when we forget to do this. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to save all. Okay, and then on the other screen you guys can't see this, but what I'm going to do is open up the instance mesh, and I shall show you the code for that. Okay. And then we shall test it. It's taking a bit of loading time here. I'm just wondering if I'm losing, if I'm running out of space or something here. Right, it has opened, but I'm beginning to think here that I might be running out of space or something like that, which is causing a problem. Oh, that's okay, 90 gig. I'm just wondering if the $500, no, it's not a space issue, so ignore me on that one. Right, so probably I need to do this one thing to let you guys see how this works. Hopefully nobody's speaking to me because I've been having that screen up. The weird black screen. What do you mean? Right, so basically what we've got to do is we've renamed some of the stuff, right? So we're going to click that, and the easiest one to do is IW. Okay. Then open it up. We are going to close it again, but we're just going to browse to it. Okay. So we're going to close that. Right, here we go. So we've got an instance meshes, right? That was what we created. And what we're going to do here is we're going to click on rename, and we're just going to copy the name, right? So we can put it in our instance, right? And then what we're going to do is blueprint class, actor, then we're going to say BP underscore inst underscore, and then paste. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in here and then we're going to add a component, and then we're going to instance static mesh, right? Then we're going to go back to our rock, we're going to put this in here, then we're going to save it, but that's not the end, right? What we've got to do is delete these, but in our construction script come on, you gonna work? Apparently I didn't copy that. Okay, we'll try that again then. Right, there we go. Okay, this basically tells us to make an instance mesh, right? And then use the static mesh that's already in here, and to use the transform that, well actually we're going to transform it 0, 0, 0. Okay, I'll show you why in a minute. Right. So that should be us. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close that other project for now. Okay. We're going to let it do its compiler shaders thing. Then, once it's done its compiler shaders thing, I'm going to show you what it actually does. Okay, and then we're going to test it out. Okay. So the point of this, for anybody that didn't see the earlier stream, is after doing the optimization stuff, right, where we only really found small little things here and there, right, and the problem was when we went to the actual real map. Okay, when we went to the real map, things started going wrong. Okay, so there is no instance meshes in the real map. Okay, so there should be, and there's no LODs when there should be, and there's a few other little niggly bits that we need to do, but it didn't really matter what weather system we used, it was going to be screwy anyway, right, because it wasn't actually the weather system at all that was causing the majority of the issues, right? I don't know what that's all about. So, but anyway, you'll see in a minute what this thing does, okay? And then hopefully we can get it to work. Earlier on, I'm going to give you a caveat at the start here, but I'll give you a little clue as to what happened today. It kind of worked, except then it kind of didn't. Right? And I don't know why. And I'm hoping it doesn't screw up again. Okay? Now, this is the test map, okay? And the test map has really pretty much nothing on it that's going to actually help us out. But we can run our mega crazy asset replacer, okay, and this is going to give us information about the meshes on our level, okay. So if I hit this button, nothing happens, which is great. Now, should anything have happened? No, nothing should have happened, right? And that's because we have nothing in this data table, okay? So what we need to do is we need to add our very first thing, and we need to actually get the name of our very first thing, right? And the name of our very first thing is this. Okay. So this is the static mesh name within a static mesh when you put it down, right? And this is why I had to rename all of these static meshes to make them unique, right? Because some of the static meshes have the same name, but they're actually different meshes, right? So obviously you've got to get the right one, okay? And this is the actual static mesh. We don't actually use this, but it's good reference anyway. And then we paste it in again, and this gives us our instance, okay? So now we can save that, and then still not working, and this is exactly what happened earlier. Right, so let's go to here, let's go to this button, and let's find out what it does. Apparently nothing, which is probably why it doesn't work, right? Okay. So these are all custom events, right, that we need to actually name. And this is the big one. Or is it, in fact? That's no instance. Right, I think I missed one out. Right? I'm gonna have to open that other project up again because I think I've actually missed one. I appear to have missed one of the functions or one of the events, and it's obviously pretty important. Toast. I had toast. Pretty boring, huh? Right, so we're going to edit our helpers, and back in here, I'm just working on the other one just to get the right thing here. Right, we're going to rename these. That's on button clicked, so that one's okay. And right, this is an on button clicked one. Right, And that's why we didn't get that one. Right, okay, so what button is that? Button stats. Right, so this is button stats. Okay. And yeah, okay. So we can put this down here, doesn't really matter. And now there's somebody like starting a barbecue outside, and all I can smell is the petrol. And this is it here, right? So I'm gonna have to get that out of the way. All I can smell is the gasoline for them starting this barbecue. Okay, so this goes in here, and we might actually need to rename a couple of the custom events here, because I don't think it actually gave them the right name, but we'll sort this out in the meantime. Static mesh name, so that's going to there. Right, and that's it's not static mesh blueprint. It's going to there. But it doesn't look as if we even use that, to be honest. Okay. Now, the question is, what is that? And that's button mesh. Right. And now what we really need to do is rename these other ones, right, where necessary. Because it ain't going to work otherwise. So this custom event is called no instance. Oh. What? Did I copy that twice? Looks like I did. Looks like I copied that twice. Okay, well we can delete that one out then. So I'm taking it this one's called no instance. Yeah, it is. Right, but we did have... Did we? Apparently not. Oh, that's it. Right, okay. Right. So now I can explain this, hopefully. Do save all. Now, I'm worried about this, but we're going to do this first. So, get stats. Right, cool. Okay. So, we've not got this, these lists, or this particular we've not got the look of it down yet, right? So you're just gonna have to bear with me. But these are the meshes on the map, this map, test map, okay, that do not have a corresponding a corresponding instance. Okay. Now that is according to our data table. Okay. And these are the meshes on our test map. that need changed to an instance. Okay? We have basically 0 that we can change, but there's 5 mesh actors. Okay? Now, let me demonstrate what happens when we actually put something in the map. Okay? So, for example, remember this is the IW thing, right? Now, we're going to work with them. We're going to spin it around. Then we're going to change this to double the size. Okay, and then we'll bring this out a bit so that we can see it. Okay, so there's its little brother. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll get this monster and we'll move him right out the way. I didn't actually mean to put him that much out the way. Sorry, monster, didn't mean to put you that much out the way. Right, so we'll move him out the way, but not too far out the way. Okay, so we now have, remember we had 5 meshes, right? And none of them we had anything we could do with, right? But what we can do now is if we use our mega crazy asset replacer and say get stats, right, are you not going to work? Is that what this is all about, is it? Right, what have I done wrong? This part's working. We have got 7 here. Ahmed, Said, there's no such thing as harder. It just depends what you end up liking, basically. They both have their pluses and their negatives. You've just got to decide for yourself which one you're comfortable with. Right, so that is right, that's right, and that's right. So why is it not doing the thing that I want it to do? Right, this should be doing what I want it to do. Right, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to close that, right? Then we're going to open it again. I'm going to see if it's some weird thing that I need to refresh the grids or something. Right? Right, so run that widget. Get stats. That's not right. We're missing a crucial part. Don't know what the crucial part is yet, but you know what? That's actually right. No, it's no. No, it's no. This isn't right. This should have the SM Rock IW. Right. But I'm going to save this to show you. You guys can't really see this. But if I go to maps, let me see. Right, if I go to maps, right, and I go to this one, right? The main map. Now you've got to have something open for this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this and I'm going to load it, right? And this is where life gets kind of interesting for our widget, right? As you can see, it's not loaded in yet, but we'll get there. Alright, it's doing those distance fields. Let it do its thing. Right. Now, here's the interesting part. Where did my editor go? Where did that go? It just seemed to disappear. Yeah, probably. There's no point in asking me anything about the maps because I didn't have anything to do with them really. So, yeah. So, if we get stats, voila. Okay. Now, this gives you a list. Right, okay, here's the way this works. This is a list of all the items, all the static meshes in this map that don't have an instance version. Okay? I don't know what's going on with that thing. Right? So we've got all of these things. And none of them have a instance version. Now, what you will notice is that there is no IW one, and that's because we do have an instance for this, right? But this is the one best idea is yeah, there's a lot of objects, but it's actually only 439 on this. But this is the point, right? To make it easier for me and my colleague to basically fix these. Now, I don't know if this has got an IW, right? Because these aren't sorted in any particular way. But what we can do, right, is we've got a static mesh docs, okay? What's the plot? I don't know. I'm not writing the plot, right? And we don't really want to tell you too much about it. If you go to our website, link in the description, you'll get a little bit more information about it rather than me have to tell you what I actually don't really know, right? So this SM docs, let's do that. and let's see if we can get it out of here. Here it's here, we need an instance for it, okay? So the way that, so once we do that, that's another thing we can bring into the test map and test it on, right? So there's our SM docs, okay? Where's the static mesh? Apparently, okay, whatever. Right, what we can do here is we can go SM docs, click on content, and here it's here, okay? Then we can click off of that. Oh dearie me. Where was? We need to open it and then browse to it. Damn. SM underscore docs, right? So if we open up the static mesh, right, we can then browse to it. Okay, so here it's here. And then we can close this, right? Now, this is exactly where we want to add it, but we're going to rename. Hi, Stuart, or Stuart, or, yeah. I hate saying your name in case I butcher it. But, right, so what we're going to do, right, is we're going to get our mesh name. There is only one of these, okay? But I'm tempted to call all of these VV, right, to make them unique. But I think we're okay with this one. But what we're going to do is we're going to create, damn it, static meshes, new folder, instanced meshes. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to create blueprint actor, then we're going to say BP INST, then paste the name of our thing. Then we're going to go in here, we're going to go to there. Hi, Cassadell Gaming, how you doing, bud? Right, then we're going to add instance mesh. Okay, we don't type in add there. Right, instance mesh. Then we're going to paste the name there. We're going to select that. We're going to save that. Then we're going to go to our instance for the other one, and we're basically going to copy that, right? Then we're going to get into our docs. We're going to go to our construction script. We're going to paste that. We're going to drag it over, right? And then we're going to drag that into our construction script. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our DT. Oh, wait a minute. Not happy with that, because I want to get rid of these. Right, I want these blueprints as clean as possible. Right, so next we get our second row. We go into, not there. Oopsie. that went well. Right, there probably is. I can probably use the... Ah, well, that was a way of doing it, eh? So, back here, here's our SM docs. Rename it. Copy it. Click off it. Go to there. Paste it. Then go to here. Paste it. Select that one. Go to here. Paste it. Then select the instance one. Okay. So now, when we do our this thing, we should actually get a slightly different answer here, right? Because these are all docs, right? So we should have about, yeah, I'm getting by the tone of your voice that it's not a hard question at all. Right? Okay. So there's SM docs, right? But we should have no SM docs here. Right? And as you can see, we have no SM docs. Right? So it's telling us that we have to do the SM docs. We have stuff here that needs replaced, but we don't need a version of the instance because we already have it. Okay? Better not prove me a liar by having it, but no, it hasn't, right? And now you'll notice that there's 120, right? 120 docs. And there's 1098 meshes on this map, this singular map, right? Now, the fun part is if you select all of these, right? And then you get an awful lot of meshes. But I'm going to show you, hopefully, working on the test map, right? Hopefully. How was Earth created? Well, nobody knows. It's not scientifically decided yet how Earth was created. Well, I'll rephrase that. It's neither scientifically nor what's the word I'm looking for here? Spiritually. It's neither spiritually nor scientifically decided yet how Earth was created, so how would I know? An interesting question though, I suppose. Right, I'm going to let this do its compiling shaders stuff. Well, you know, you've got to... Myths don't come out of nowhere. There's normally some kind of a story behind it and why they came up with it. Whether it's a true story that represents the story they're trying to tell or not is usually the sticking point with things like that. But at the end of the day, you know, when people tell stories, they're based on their own life experiences, usually to a point, or metaphorically, anyway, depending on the story, of course, right? So it's neither been decided by science how Earth was created, nor has it been decided spiritually, if that's how the way you're going with that, right? Because go to basically any country and every country will tell you something different depending on their religion, blah blah, their beliefs, etc. Okay? So, how was Earth created? Asterix, undecided. Right, guys, I'm going to have a quick break. So, if you're enjoying the stream, hit the like and subscribe. Check out the description where you can find the game's Discord server, my personal Discord server, my Patreon, my previous game on Steam, and also a link to the website for Two Mad Monkeys in the game. Okay? Don't go anywhere, guys. I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, we are back. And what we're going to do is, you'll notice here we've got 120, okay? Now, you're obviously going to say, well, is there 120? Well, I can't really tell you that for definite, right? Because I would have to count them all, which I'm not obviously going to do. But the point being that hopefully it's right. It is right. But we can test it, right, by going to our maps, going to our test map, right? We can just go with that, that's fine. And we know there's no docks here, okay? But we know there's these rocks which weren't working before, I believe. But now we've got this, right? So this is a better example because it's much clearer, right? So here's what it's telling me, okay? And here's what it's telling my level designer. It's saying we've got this static mesh called storage 01, and it does not have an instanced version. We have this one here, SM target 01, which is actually this here, okay? And again, that has no instanced version. Okay, now those are probably, this is the storage one as well. See this? That's the storage, that's the target. Okay, and that's the two static meshes on this map that we don't have an instance for. Now what it's telling you is, in this column, it's saying we need to update these to an instance, but we don't have a mesh, an instance version. We need to update the target, but we don't have a target instance. We need to do SM rock IW. We do, because it's not in this list, okay? So what it's telling us here is we've got two of these that we can replace, okay? Out of a total of 14 meshes, okay? Now, if I were to, so we'll do it live while you guys are watching so that it makes absolute sense, right? So if we type in our SM underscore docs, I don't understand your question. Do I ever want to go to the back room? Eh? What? Back room or what? Is that some colloquialism or something? Right, so here's our docs, right? And we're wanting to browse to there. And bring that down. This is our docs here, right? So if we were to do this, spin it round, right? And let's see, we drag it down so it's not so bleeding obvious, right? And then copy it, so we've got a second one, right? These don't need to be together or anything. This isn't a, it's just for fun or just as, what? It's a creepy pasta. Since when was pasta creepy? Oh, you're on about a back room. No, they're not scary in the slightest. In fact, they're quite funny. I mean, who's going to be scared of a stupid teddy bear in Friday night Friday night at Freddy's or whatever it's called, I don't know. Right? No, why would that be creepy? It's just stupid. Right? Sorry, but, you know. So now, what we can do is, you'll notice here that we've got this. Now, it's because this is not refreshing. So, we need to do something about that. But it did work. Right? So, we'll go in here. Right? And then we'll go to our designer. And it's in here, it's our GP no instance, right? So just got to find it really. It's not going to be in there. Is it this one? I don't think it's this one either. Delete that. No, it's going to be over here somewhere. Right. And yeah, it's this one here. Right. So what we can do here is drag that out a bit. And clear children. Okay. That should sort our problem out. Right. So now, get stats. There we go. Okay. Now this is where it gets interesting. Okay, this is where it definitely gets interesting. Because this is where it broke the last time. Well, actually it's not where it broke. I'm going to test it and then we're going to check to see if it gets past where it broke. No. No. My parents didn't tell us that. Right, anyway, you've put me off. Lucky kid. Honestly, it happened that long. My childhood was that long ago that I can't remember anyway. Right, you're talking 50 years ago. Right. So, this time what we're going to do, now you're going to have to keep your eye on things here, right? What's the best way to do this? To show you. Right, so you've got docs, IW, right? So we'll keep your eyes on these 3 things, or 5 things, okay? because that's where the action is going to happen. Okay, I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you guys can see it a bit better. I keep forgetting to do that. Right, so you've got docs, 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 IW, IW, right? Those are the ones that we need to replace, right? So, if you think about it, if I wasn't to do this tool, literally what you'd have to do is you'd have to come in here. First of all, you'd have to make your instance, right? Instance version. Then you would have to basically come in here, find every single instance, then copy the position and the transform and the scale. So it'll be location, rotation, scale, and then replace it and then take it out. And the same for this one. Then the same for this dock, right? And then the same for that dock, and then the same for that dock, right? Now think about it, if you've got 64,000 meshes and you had to do that, right? That is going to be a bad day when you're getting told you're doing that, right? That's going to be the day that you think about walking out, right? But we are going to automate it, right? So that it doesn't even matter. So all we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we've not got them, we might do them later, we've only got one of them, so it's not going to really make much difference, so bugger it. And we're going to say update meshes. Bang. And it didn't do it. That's because we haven't got this, we haven't connected this button up, I don't think. Right, when I think about it. Well, that was a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it? It wasn't for me, I actually thought it was going to work. But, yeah, idiot. So, designer, update meshes, button, where are you? There you are. Right, view. Oh, wait a minute. Interesting. Interesting indeed, that should have worked. Wow. How's about that? That should have worked. Button, update meshes. Yeah. Yep, that should have worked. Button, update meshes. Right. Okay. That's kind of fine. What we're going to do now, the only way I tested this earlier was with one mesh or one type of mesh, right? I didn't check it with two types of meshes. So if we save that, right, we go here. Now we shouldn't have this SM Rock IW anymore. Wait a minute, how come they both disappeared? Did that do it? Yeah, it did. Look, there, it's the instances are there. Right, so it's done it. And these are set up as instance. Okay, and you'll notice that it's in the same place, right? Everything's in the same place as it was. Now, this is where I think it screws up. Okay. this is where it's going to screw up, if it's going to screw up. I'm afraid to hit this button. Now, there's a caveat on me hitting this button, right? If this screws up, I'm going to have to go offline, because I'm going to have to do loads of things all over again, and it's going to annoy me. And then, well, first of all, I'll need to find out if it's... Oh, there you go. Right, it worked. Cool. Now, the next thing I need to check, actually, is we need to check if there's collision on those meshes. Right? Yeah, there is. Cool. Yep, fine. Brilliant. Works perfectly. So how's about that, guys? Do you like that? Okay. So that looks to me, actually looks like to me that it worked. It just took a minute. It just took a little bit of time. I think that was the problem. Right, we'll get stats again. Right, we're down to 10. There's nothing we can do there. Right, but if we go to back to our we want to go back to here, right? And we'll just throw in a bunch of rocks all over the place, right? And there's my dog making weird noises now. Right? So if we do that, okay? Come in here, get stats. You'll notice this is up to 22. We've got this SW rock thing, right? And if we hit update meshes, blam. Right? If we get stats, we're down to 10 again. Right? You'll notice if I click on this, it's not a static mesh anymore. There you go. How's about that? So when I press play, and if I do the optimization, these will be taking absolutely zero draw calls. Right? These will be basically doing nothing. Right? And with instance meshes as well, right? You can basically draw millions of them, right? And it makes no bleeding difference. Okay? But there you go. This is working absolutely spot on perfect. If we pressed play, right, and I don't know if there's a quick way of doing it. No. So we hit tilde. Start FPS. Oh, god damn it. Tilde. Start FPS. Right. Now we shouldn't be running it in here, right? But basically the whole point of this is that this is going to give us fantastic performance. Right? So basically when we do our draw calls, it's just not going to go up at all, because all of those instances are going to get drawn together. So it's going to keep it really fast. Okay. And that's kind of the point of what we were doing there. Right, now, here's the interesting part. Now, I don't know if this is possible or not, right? But this is where things could go really wrong. Like, this is where things could go really wrong or really right. Okay, so if we go to maps, right, and we click on here, and we click on Greenland main, we save that as it is, right? Now, if I'll load in the first map, right, this isn't where the first map is, by the way. It's somewhere else that I don't know where, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unload this, or let's make it current. Can I? Right. So this is our thing here, right? And what we can do, remember, now that we've got our widget, editor widget, is we can get the stats on it. Right? Now that doesn't seem right. But it is, because there isn't any static meshes in here. This must be like an inside area or something, right? So that was actually a very good example, right? So if we do for this one, right, and we'll load up that, right, and then we say get stats, and there we go, blammo. Okay, and we've got our 120, and that can be SM docks, right, and it could be those rocks as well. Okay, right, so where's our docks? That seems to be our docks are over here. Now, I'm afraid to test this. Actually, no. Wait a minute. What I'll do here is, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize that for now, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder, right? And we're going to call it instance test map. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Right, tell you what we're going to do. We're not going to do that. Right, I'll tell you how we're going to do this. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to copy it over to another drive, and then we're going to test it. Right, because then we can actually pick the whole map and just go for it. Right, so I'm going to delete that. This is going to take 5 minutes, guys, though, so you'll have to bear with me on this, but it's going to be fun when we do it. Because we can basically, I'll show you what it looks like when we've selected every single map and stuff like that, right? Because I think it's about 16,000 meshes or something like that. And that's just the static meshes, okay? Ah, I've got it open. I mean, yeah, maybe I have. Could be right. Okay. Right, in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save all here. Right. And yeah, this is it here. Doesn't matter if I save it or not because I'm deleting it anyway. Right, so now we can delete this. Okay, so this is going to be awesome. Yes, I'm deleting the whole file, yeah. Yeah, every now and again I'll do a backup of the whole thing. Especially if I'm going to do something like this. Right, which is a bit bonkers. Well, it's not bonkers, it's bonkers to think about when you think about it going wrong. But we're not going to let it go wrong. That's the point. We're going to test it on the backup to make sure it's doing exactly what we think it's doing. Now we could put counters and stuff like that on this. Yeah, so I am deleting the whole Groenland file. Right? And then we basically empty it. Right? And then we've got to copy it again. Right? We've got to copy our live version across now. So yeah. So we're going to go to this. Right? Then we're going to go into our C drive and Unreal Projects, then Groenland, and we're going to copy that. Then once this is finished, we're just going to paste this, right? Right, so that's our, and paste. Right, now on the D drive it's slightly slower because D drive's just a normal hard drive, C drive's an SSD, so yeah, there's that. But we'll get there. We'll get there, don't worry. Everything's good. But this is going to be really fun. Well, for me it's going to be really fun. For you guys it's just going to look like nothing happens probably. But we'll call it fun. Right. So we can minimize these. And it is going to take a minute or two. So we're going to talk amongst ourselves. So if anybody's got any questions about what we're doing at the moment or whatever, fire away. I haven't got the answer to whether how the world came about. That's to be determined in the future, I take it. So yeah, there's that as well. And yeah, nothing I can really do until this is copied over, because I don't want to do it on the, I don't want to do it on my branch, my live branch of the project, right? Because basically, if I do that and it screws something up, then I basically have to go and rename all of the meshes again, do all the copy and pasting of the 3 widgets, then all the code, make the data tables, make the structs, and go through all that again, right? So it's much better if I just take 5 minutes to back this up and then run it on the backup, okay? We're not running it on a live basis, right? But the interesting thing is going to be here is, like, we've got 2 meshes. We've got the dock and we've got the base rock from Infinity Weather. And it's going to be interesting to see how many meshes get updated if I select the whole map, right? And I don't even know if that's going to work. Or, this is where I'm trying to figure out if it's better to do one map at a time, or if it's better to do just the whole lot at once, or whatever, right? Because this is like new territory, and probably there's not a lot of people in the world that do this apart from Epic and probably a few big studios, if they use this, that will ever do this sort of thing. So we don't know how this is going to go, but if it does update an awful lot of meshes, right, then what we can do is we can carry on and basically click on a few things that we think are meshes that get used a lot, right? Because I know benches, there's one called bench that gets used a lot, even just in one place. So I am guessing it gets used a lot in a lot of places, okay? So what we can do is, after our first test, we can add another, we'll find out how many meshes it updated by, because our tool's going to tell us, right? Then we'll try and do another couple, right? And then we can run a speed test or an optimization test to see if it actually has brought the numbers down, okay? And that will be very interesting to find out if that has happened or not. So, yeah, earlier on, after I got to the point we're at actually right now, that's when basically what was happening is, if I pressed play, it just hung Unreal Engine straight away, right? And it's basically the same code that I've copied across, right? So what I had to do was basically go back to a previous version from yesterday, right, and then rename all of the meshes that I'd sort of worked on, and then basically went through it and copied everything across again. And then what you guys saw tonight was me finishing off the last parts and getting it working again, right? I had to rename like about 50 meshes, create the data table, create the 2 widgets, or the 3 widgets, possibly 4. Create the structure, create the data tables. You saw me putting the first values into data tables, etc, etc. Right, so I've basically done that now twice in the last day. Right, and I really don't want to do it again. So hence, I'm going to wait for 5 minutes for this to copy across. You okay? Right, 19 gigabytes to go if you can't see it. Anybody got any questions out there? As I said, by the way, guys, in case you didn't know, this is a special. This isn't a normal widget, right? This is an editor widget, right? And when you're creating an editor widget, right, you've got to, you know, you can't actually, you can't do breakpoints. You can't do print strings. If you're going to do a print string, you've got to print it out to the console and then look at it later. As I said, you can't do breakpoints, so you can't go into the code and actually do it on the fly. So your editor widgets can be a little bit more tricky to get working, because you've got to sort of get the code right without having to use breakpoints and stuff like that. And if you're just learning, that's not an easy thing to do. So you'll probably get a lot of things, weird things going on in your editor widget that you don't expect. Right, but I'm just talking nonsense now to pass the time until I can load this project up. Right, we're down to 10, 11.5, 11. Right, down to 10. Come on. Come on, I'm actually looking forward to testing this out to see how good it is, or how bad it is. It's going to be an interesting one. But what I'm probably going to have to do as well is I'm going to have to give out more information on this, right? When I run this, I'll show you. I mean, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to try and count the number of items, so that in the list, when you say you're going to do it, I'm going to have a button for like a bulk, just do everything, right? And then we're going to have a button that's for individual types, in case there's exceptions to what we want to do, right? So that you'll be able to do like just the docks, just a particular type of rock, and then it's going to tell you how many of those items there are. So it's a matter of getting this to the point where my level design guy is happy with how it functions and he can use it simply enough, right? We're down to 3 gig, shouldn't be long now. This is the moment when it just zippity zip finish. Come on. 3.8, 3.08. Is this going to be the time it decides to go super slow? Really? Down to 3. We can open that up. We can have that over the top. Down to 2.92. Come on. I can hear my hard drive bashing away in the background. Come on, we at least want to do this before... We're going to do this before we end the stream. Either way, if I have to go a bit longer than normal, then I have to go a bit longer than normal. But I want you guys in the chat to see how many items are in this project, and then if we can actually update every single item that we've got an instance for. Right, so we're done. We load up from backup and not our C drive. Okay, so this is going to take also a little bit longer than it normally takes, but it's fine, it's open. Right, it's going to pop up on my other screen, by the way. Okay, maybe it's not. Okay. Yeah. Not going to get upset if it proves me to be a liar or something. It's just Unreal Engine being Unreal Engine. Right. So we're going to do... Well, we're going to have to wait until it does this. I don't know what it's doing. This loading importing an MBP for the pawn. Okay, whatever. Whatever. You do your thing. Right. Right. Let's do this. Let's get this. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to open up our main map, right? We're going to minimize that. Okay. Then we're going to grab that and we're going to come here and we're going to load it. Then we're going to load that. So we're loading in the whole shebang. Right, then we're going to load in this. And it can complain all at once. We're just going to continue loading. And then we're going to hit our button to see how many objects we've got. And it's going to be huge. Right, so there we go. Let's build navigation again. It can build navigation all at once. I'm still loading. Are they loaded? I'm guessing so. Well, let's load that. And now load again. So that's the last one, I think. Right? Apparently, we have loaded in the whole map. Right? So, what we can do now is go to our, we can go to our mega crazy asset replacer. Then we can hit stats. Okay, now this might go badly. There's, okay, I'm not buying that. I'm going to select everything. Right, and then I'm going to go for it. Right, I'm not buying that because earlier on I had a number up here that was like 64,000. The size of the map. It's weird. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to unload everything. Right, yeah, unload everything. Right. So weird. Weird is all I can say. As I said, going through these one by one and just then updating replacing the meshes. Okay, it might take you half an hour, but it's going to be better than redrawing the whole map, which took about 4 weeks or something, you know? Putting every single item back where it was. Yeah, I don't fancy that much at all. Right, we're going to load this again. Right, so that brings in our items, right? And then what we'll do is we'll do get stats. According to this, there's 1,098. Okay, we'll do a little bit of testing here. I'm going to do this, right, and do the sub level, right? And I'm going to load the sub levels as well, right? And this is beginning to get weird, right? Because if I do this again, we've got 3,500, right? So the tree system is not, the tree system is kind of weird, is what I'm trying to say, right? Now, what I'm going to do here, we've got our world outliner, and what I can do is say docs, okay? And this is them here, and apparently apparently there's 19, okay? Now the next one I can do is I can type IW, and there's none of those rocks, okay? But what we can do is we can see here. Now I'm going to show you actually. I don't know if it's actually in this one. Right, actually it is. See there? Bench, 53 of them. Right? Bench. Here it is here, SM bench. So if I was to create another one of these, really what we want to do here is find out how many of each item there actually are, and then basically target that particular one, or target them from the highest instances to the lowest, right? Then we've got barrel, crates, docks, right? The gates, pillars, there's a lot of these. Oh, there's quite a lot of pillars. Ropes. Right? More barrels, more benches. Right? Sharp logs. More of this stuff. Right? We've got furs, etc., etc. Yeah, so we could just gradually work our way through that. But the thing is, and I don't think this is actually going to show anything. I don't think we're going to get any kind of bonus out of this. But if I press play, I don't know how long this is going to take. And if it's, there we go. Well, that wasn't bad. Right, but what we can do here is say start FPS. That's going to give us our start FPS, and then we can say start unit. And if we can, we're going to be trying to get that draw number down, the game number down, right? Because what you got to remember is that the CPU has to try and feed the GPU with the data, right? And if it's only having to make one draw call, it's going to be substantial, okay? But usually this is pretty horrific anyway. But I just wanted a little bit of an idea, and we're not really going to get one here. Right, because it's just reds all the way. So I suppose that's going to be fun. What we're going to expect here is we've got a lot of draw calls, which basically get even worse. When you're looking out here, there's not an awful lot of things that it's going to draw, right? We're getting about 20 frames a second, which is absolutely shocking, right? But that's the whole point here. We're going to have, what we're trying to do here is get this up to an acceptable level, right? Now you'll notice straight away that we're up to 1300 draw calls. Our actual draw isn't too bad, right? But we've still got issues. We're not worried about that for the moment. Okay. Now, here's the thing. We've got 256 of these. And what we're going to do, right, is we're going to hit update meshes. Okay. And now, if we select dock, you'll notice these are all instances. Oh, it's not really changed on the map. It's just that I never show the map, and I only ever really show one part of it as well, right? So, but you can see here that these are all instances now, Right, so one little change and we've got a crap ton of instances and our docks have disappeared. Okay. And the interesting thing now is if I press play, this isn't going to make any difference. The docks surely can't make that much difference. Look at our draw now. Our draw is way down. Can't be loaded in yet. There must be something weird going on. Right, there's definitely something weird going on. It is better though, I'll say that for it. That draw is crazy. I don't know why it's doing 0.1 milliseconds. But what I'm going to do with this particular version on D drive, on my spare drive, is I'm going to go through a few of these, right, and see if after I do a few of these, if it starts bringing the frame rate down. I'm just not 100% sure if it will or it won't. Right, we've got, yeah, we've definitely, it is making a difference, by the way, because our draw had definitely went down. Right, I'm still expecting, there we're up to yellow, right? We're up to yellows. Which we weren't before at this point. Right, and then when we got up, right, our draws were at 1400 at this point, and they're not anymore. And we're hitting yellows. And if we leave it and don't move, we're hitting yellows. Right, so anyway, guys, join me tomorrow. And as I said, I'm going to create some more instances and get it to run through this. And we shall see what kind of difference we get. Right? So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it very much. Hit the like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Check out the description for links to the game's Discord, my personal Discord, Patreon, previous game on Steam, and our website, which gives you much more stuff on Groenland. And I shall be back tomorrow at 2 PM. So I hope to see you tomorrow. I'll be back then. Bye bye for now.